it adopted a strong policy of population control. And there were very good reasons for it. It's a small country in size, 145,000 square kilometers, where we have, even at that time, something like 75 million people.
The 1994 Program of Action of the International Conference on Population and Development is widely acclaimed as a landmark multi-country agreement which committed governments to achieving by 2015 a range of goals that place individual people and human rights at the center of development. This, according to the Vice President and Women's Affairs Minister, signifies how the world community views the interface between population and development. Madam Njai Sedi continued that the main objective of the Cairo Program of Action is to raise the quality of life and individual well-being and to promote human development by recognizing the complexity of interrelationship between population, reproductive health and development policies and programs.
During that Cairo ICPD 1994 conference, which I was privileged to attend, a consensus was reached. Of course, after a lot of agreements and consultations on the stance that access to reproductive health and related services, sexual health, as well as family planning, for the young especially, as well as the protection of the rights of women and girls, among others, are all important prerequisites in the attainment of sustainable development for all. The development of women over the years and the young surely will all agree trickle down to the rest of society.
Ajah Dr. Njai Sedi said the Gambia, under the leadership of President Jammeh, has taken steps bent on addressing population issues and the country is already on track to achieving the Millennium Development Goal of universal access.
The Gambia has already achieved the MDG target of universal access and gender parity in lower as well as basic cycles of education. Regarding the rights of women and girls, the Gambia has adopted and ratified a number of national and international instruments that seek to promote gender equity, equality, and the empowerment of women, in line with the 12 Beijing critical areas of concern.
A partner in population and development, according to its officials, recognizing building ownership that integrates the recent global development commitments.
On the 20th anniversary of ICPD and the deadline for achieving the Millennium Development Goals approach, governments across the world have renewed their commitment to the ICPD program of action, and there is a renewed focus on population stabilization. The visionaries who forged ICPD have much to be proud of. Impressive achievements have been made since ICPD in 1994, with worldwide reduction in fertility rate, increased contraceptive use, and slowing of population growth rate.
Our commitment in ICPD program of action has been reflected in our policies and programs, and we continuously updating our policies and programs with an aim to ensure universal health coverage for all citizens.
The dialogue is expected to update information for better understanding and strengths and challenges of the International Conference on Population and Development, plus a program of action and the MDGs that will be essential in mapping out a path towards a future development framework. For Grts News, I am Aissatou Mane.
The National Assembly's Public Accounts and Public Enterprises Committee have adopted the annual report and financial statement of the National Youth Service Scheme. Mamadou Diallo was watching proceedings there, and he now tells us more.
As the National Youth Council left the National Assembly, the National Youth Service Scheme came, led by Noah Jammeh, the Executive Director. Their board was not complete, but the Speaker excused them, allowing Jammeh to read the activity report. The report outlined the activities of the National Youth Service Scheme, its successes, constraints, and opportunities. His Financial Director did an equally impressive presentation, explaining in detail how money was acquired and spent. Auditors also acknowledged conducting an audit of the accounts based on international guidelines of best practice. The auditors, however, raised issues about unretired impress, something Honorable Abdullahi Kanaji Jawla seized upon to take Jammeh to task.
I could not understand how an imprest could be handled by the executive director when the account section is there. For that, that such queries coming to this committee is a total disappointment to us.
The situation at Nyaniberry Farm also came under intense scrutiny. Honorable Mam Cherno Jallow said the National Youth Service Scheme is underutilizing the farm, whilst Honorable Pa Malik Sise called for a massive investment to make it more viable and productive.
You failed to invest in Nyaniberry in 2011. This is why you could not produce anything in Nyaniberry. And even going further to the notes on note 2, sales of produce, which is 46,980. You derive all these sales from mango fruit, sales of eggs, sales of birds, sale of watermelon. You are underutilizing the heaven that has been given to you.
Honorable Sise also had more important issues to raise, saying a complete overhaul to modernize the tailoring unit is necessary to raise badly needed money. Responding to the queries on Nyaniberry, the farm manager insisted that the process of revamping the farm is already ongoing.
If you go to the notes, you will see how much we receive month by month. I said, yeah, for example, 75,000, 85,000. Even the salaries of staff is more than $75,000. So if you pay in that money as a subvention for a whole month, it will be difficult for these activities to be implemented. So what we normally do is to negotiate with banks for overdraft, and banks normally refuse to pay the payment of taxes.
1,300 bananas, he said, have already been planted and will soon be harvested and sold. This, he continued, will generate income for the youth service scheme and also enable them expand hectareage, which currently stands at only 2 hectares. These revelations by the NYSS Nyaniberry farm manager was well received by the committee. They later unanimously adopted their report. After the usual handshakes and exchange of pleasantries, they left satisfied that they had lived up to expectations. Mamadou Jallow, GRTS News.
Staff of the President's farm at Wadna have kick-started the second phase of a major harvesting exercise. Wednesday's activity targeted the vast watermelon, plantain and banana plantations, which form part of an experiment conducted on a variety of produce cultivated by the President. Abdul Njai has the details.
The glee among staff of the President's farm in Wadna has been unrestrained, opening new prospects in the ever-changing landscape of this farm. It now proudly shows why it should be considered as part and parcel of the Kanilai farms. Having established by the President, who is synonymous with success, the farm could not have done less, both in output and quality. He has now approved the harvesting of the main produce making of the cultivation, ranging from watermelon, plantain and banana.
Because when we are here during the rainy season, transplanting the cocos, a lot of people were saying that no, here, the only thing that can be good here is only the cocos and then the palm trees. But then when we sit and then discuss, and then we decided to make so many crops, to see whether what people are saying is a fact.
So they were still skeptical that watermelon will not do well here?
No, yeah, they were saying that watermelon will not do well here. So this is why we have a small piece of watermelon where we contributed. But we have seen that it's doing well.
It's doing well?
Yes.
So but I think you can expand on this next year?
Yes, next year in fact we're thinking of, farming the whole world now.
A tone of confidence echoing in this moment of great achievement.
If you harvest, that one is always off. You destroy it
so
that the young ones can come again. If you leave it there, the young ones will not have the chance to come up.
So these ones are not yet matured. That's why you are leaving
matured. They are not yet matured. If you can come closer, I will show you how you know the banana is matured. You see these lines. When it is fully matured, you will not see these lines.
It will completely disappear.
Disappear. And you will know it from here at the tip. It's always dry. The tip is always dry. And sometimes you can come here too. If you look at the ending, if at all there is another
That's the tip. Okay,
yeah, that's the tip.